Welcome everyone to the Health, Happiness and Planet podcast, where we explore different ways to boost your well-being, live a more fulfilling life and protect our planet. This podcast is sponsored by Wave Business Excellence Footprint, the digital training company that cares about your development and the well-being of this planet. You can find the courses for employees and managers under www.wave-bef.com. In today's episode, we're going to speak about the advantages of being vegan when focusing on building muscle, getting stronger, and healthier. I'm thrilled to introduce you to my amazing guests Tara and Ken, who live in Tulum, Mexico. Their mission is to empower and inspire people to live a more sustainable life on this planet by reducing our carbon footprint, reducing animal suffering, while getting stronger and healthier. Now that sounds like a win-win, doesn't it? Getting healthier while being kind to our environment is really a superpower. They provide their clients detailed custom game plan consisting of nutrition, training, scheduling and cardio, communication and support, weekly mindset calls, bi-weekly check-ins, supplement recommendations, accountability, constant support and monitoring, and they will call you if you are not following through. And lastly, they will create tailored plans for you and what you need for your specific goals. I encourage you to look at their Instagram account. Here you will notice that they lead by example. Both look fantastic. Here you will also see the progress of some of their clients. I'm thrilled to introduce you to these amazing guests, Tara and Ken. Yeah, welcome Tara and Ken to the Health, Happiness and Planet podcast. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much. This is really exciting.
It is. I'm excited for it. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's so great that you are in a lovely location. You're in Tulum, Mexico, right?
Yeah, Tulum, Mexico. Actually, I'm from Seattle, Washington in the States. She's from New Jersey. We both met in Las Vegas. Yeah. We both moved to Newport, Irvine, California. And now we just recently moved to Tulum. So we kept moving farther from south, where the weather is better and better.
So every time you went south, you're like, wow, this is really nice with the weather. Let's make it a little bit further south. And then it's like, that's so good.
Remember?
Yeah.
I've only worn shorts and workout clothes in the last 4 months. Wow, that's awesome.
That's, for me, a dream come true. Yeah, so one of the questions I always ask my guests at the beginning of each podcast is, how did you find your passion and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, I think our passion found us. We've done a lot in our lives. I was actually very high performing sales in Prada, Givenchy, a lot of high-end retail. And I was a supervisor and a selling supervisor. I did that for 14 years. So this career change really hit me hard. Actually hit us both really hard and said, hey, this is your passion. Listen to me. So it's pretty crazy. Some life changes and some major career changes that we've had. So I would definitely say our passion hit us and found us, and we couldn't do nothing to run away from it anymore.
Yeah. Not bad. It's really nice when you can at least see those signals out there. Yeah, when the universe is just throwing things at you and you're thinking, maybe I should really follow what the universe is telling me I should do, and not to fight against it. And when I started many years ago, before I studied, I actually thought I was going to become a personal fitness trainer and be in the whole world of fitness because I loved to train when I was very young. And I actually even did my certification as a personal fitness trainer, but then later I studied and somehow I got into the business world and then I never was able to get back anymore. But maybe now with this podcast and with all of you, with this health, happiness, and planet topic, I might be making a little detour and going from the corporate world then again into the health business. That's why my next question for you is, what is your definition of being fit and healthy? Because in so many years, if I think back, I had a vision of what is being fit and healthy, but then that vision actually changed with time. And I was thinking, wow, there's actually so many different definitions, and the way how people actually look at it, it's so different. So how do you see that?
Yeah, I think being fit and healthy really encompasses so many different aspects, because I've had a lot of friends in my life, and me on occasion as well, where it's really easy to look good on the outside and look strong, look great, look fantastic, but on the inside, very unhealthy, just dying, decaying on the inside. And I've seen it with a lot of friends. I've seen a lot of clients. And, in our lives as well, we were really looking very healthy, but on the inside, we were very sick. We believe that if you focus on being healthy on the inside, you're going to look good. Because if you look good on the outside, it doesn't mean you're healthy. But if you're healthy on the inside, you are going to look and feel great on the outside. So that's kind of like what we really truly believe in because of our experiences and with a lot of people in our lives as well.
Yeah, so true. So true. I can just raise the hand there. I was one of those. Yeah. As I said, I was training a lot in the past when I was a teenager. And I actually looked okay. But then when my doctor did the blood analysis and he was like, wow, your cholesterol is horrible. And wow, you're off in so many different things. And then I had allergies and then it was just amazing. And I was thinking, okay, I thought I'm actually fit. Yeah, I'm going to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week. And it was not what I was actually expecting. And so that's so true what you say. You could look from the outside, all right, yeah, but then when you start really looking deeper, it's like the iceberg picture, yeah? You just see the tip of the iceberg, but you don't know what's like underneath there, like all what's really under the water, under the surface.
Absolutely. And we really feel that, being healthy and being fit isn't just appearance, isn't health. It also is emotional health, mental health, clarity, vision, intentionality, ownership, gratitude. I feel like all these things encompass being healthy and being fit. Exactly. So it's not just aesthetics, although we, of course, we do train for aesthetics and it's an important part, of course. But that is, like you said, just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to being fit and healthy. And I think it's very important for people to understand that being fit and healthy, what it means to them and what it can mean, because it's so much more than just looking good or lifting a lot of weights.
Exactly. What really struck from my side, that's where we actually found you, because my brother, he's in the search of good guests, and I told my brother, if you can find some people who are into the sports world but are also vegan, that would be a wonderful guest to have here in this show. And how did it actually happen? Were both of you always vegan, or did you transition at some point of time?
Yeah, I was actually vegetarian for about 8 years. I was really vegetarian just because, I'd watched this documentary about animal agriculture and kind of what happens in like the slaughterhouses and like the processing of meat. And I was just like, whoa, that is disgusting. And, so I was like, all right, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. But what actually happened as being a vegetarian is I had like a lot of ups and downs with my health. Like when I first started vegetarianism, I kind of really felt great. Like my digestive system ran so much better. I had a lot less tummy upsets. But then as time went on, I feel like a lot of vegetarians started to heavily rely on eggs and dairy because at the time, this is like 2008.
Yeah.
There were not a lot of vegan options in 2008, right? There were hardly any vegetarian options back then. So it was really a struggle then, but it was funny because when we did make the choice to go vegan, and it was for health reasons, Ken was very sick and had a lot of migraines and, he was needing like a lot of surgeries. And, I was like, hey, I'm vegetarian and that's low inflammation. Yeah. And we watched What the Health, like 3:00 in the morning. He was super sick. And he's like, pardon my French, but fuck it. Let's try this. And we went cold turkey vegan overnight. Like we just threw everything out. And that's really when we started to notice the health benefits, because being vegan, I've eaten more vegetables, tried more foods, tried more cuisines than I ever have in my entire life. And there's just more diversity and more nutrient density in our diets now than there ever was before. And I think vegan was the catalyst to that.
Yeah, I think for me, I grew up actually in a very non-vegan household. My mom was Filipino, so with a lot of awesome foods. Food is a part of the culture. Yeah. And to be honest, I never liked a lot of the foods. I didn't like a lot of the things that they were made of. I always questioned, like, what's in this? And I remember I just always felt judged, and I was, Ken's so picky eater. But I think I was vegan before I actually went vegan, because we've been vegan now for 5 years, a little over 5 years, I think now. Growing up, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand animal agriculture. I didn't understand anything. It was my ignorance that kept me from going vegan. And my health started declining. I had hypertension. Every time I laid my head down, I could just hear my heartbeat in my ears. I couldn't sleep because it would always wake me up. I would fall asleep, that I'd be waking up by that sound, and just a lot of pressure in my chest. And then I had to have 2 different surgeries on my spine and my shoulder. So we went to the hospital in Irvine. It's the top clinic in the world. That's where we were living at the time, 5-6 years ago. And the doctor, I had 2 opinions, and they said I need to have 2 different spinal surgeries and a shoulder surgery because I was having these chronic migraines, and I didn't understand what migraines were, to be honest. I thought I was just being kind of a little wimp, and I just had a headache. Turns out there were chronic migraines caused by all these issues. So I got scared. I mean, I remember there was times where there was like a Christmas Eve when we were at home, and we had to pack my head and my neck with ice packs. I had to take so many medications, pain pills. It was crazy because of how sick I was. And it's just because I just wouldn't take care of my health. I would eat ground beef and rice. I would eat eggs and rice. I would eat just burgers and chicken nuggets. That lifestyle caught up to me because I would be going to the gym 6 days a week. I worked 10 to 12 hours a day in high-end retail. And then, it was in the Vegas life. So, of course, no sleep. We would drink a lot, party a lot, work a lot. And then I would force myself to go to the gym because on the mental and emotional side, if I skipped the workout, I would get really down on myself. I would get depressed. I'd be like, oh, you're so lazy. Go to the gym, even though my body is telling me, hey, you're sick. You need to stop it. So, we watched those documentaries because we were really scared. Tara had a major hip injury as well that was undiagnosed. We could not figure out what was going on. We spent a lot of money, and most of it was all cash because it's experimental procedures. So alongside of my 3 surgeries that I needed, they wanted to do expiratory surgery. They wanted to put cameras in her hip to find out what they could figure out because there was no answers. I mean, 250 some injections over just a month's time.
Wow.
A lot of things trying to figure out what her hip was, and we couldn't figure it out. So overnight, we were like, you know what? We have no other options. What do we do? What can we do? I don't understand veganism. Let's just do it and see if we feel better about it. And, almost 6 years later, wow. Neither of us have needed surgery.
Wow.
Hypertension's gone. Everything really changed within the first 3 to 6 months is when things were just drastically different.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, wow, maybe there's something to this. And we just never looked back. And then we started understanding animal agriculture. Yeah. And then I started watching these videos and was trying to be intentional about what is actually going on. What is food? How does food affect my body? Why is eating what I've been eating since I was a kid not doing it for me? What do I need to make changes in? So what went for health, it quickly turned into ethical, moral, the environment. I mean, it was a can of worms, and it was an amazing process and journey because we were on it together. I think if I wasn't on it by myself, I think it probably would take me double the time. So I was very fortunate to have her, and almost 6 years later, we're the healthiest, fittest, strongest we've ever been in our lives. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I can so relate. My wife and I, we both started it also at the same time. That was almost 10 years ago now. And
so you must have seen a lot in the vegan world.
Yeah.
A lot of ups and downs.
Exactly. And we did it exactly like both of you did it. We just did it from one day to the next. It was not like that little transition phase that people have. Do you know Dr. Michael Greger?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I saw one of those YouTube videos from Dr. Greger, and it was one of his longer videos that like this 1 hour long where he gives the full speech about all the leading causes of death. And then when I finished watching that, I just told my wife, you know what? This is enough. This is sufficient data for me to understand that what we're doing is totally wrong. Let's just now do the pilot phase. Let's just switch to vegan immediately. I'm not going to be eating any more meat or having any more dairy. And she was like, okay, but what do I do with the fridge? We still have some food in there. And she's like, nope, I'm not eating that anymore. and that was it. That was the point of no return. And since then, really also exactly the same thing happened. I did not need any more medication. All my allergies disappeared. I would say the first year, about 70 to 80% of my allergies disappeared. And then the second year, it was about 90%. After the third year, it was totally gone.
Wow.
So that was quite amazing. And with the cholesterol, it went down like within, I think it was probably like 1.5 months to 2 months. And my cholesterol was from 360, 370. It went down to 180 more or less, like within a short time span. No more blood pressure problems. It was just amazing. And those were still the days where you did not have so many vegan options out there. And I think that's maybe the good and the bad of today's world, because people who want to say, hey, I want to go vegan, and they do have now a lot of options. They can go to the supermarket, they can find all kind of products. But then on the downside, all of that stuff is so ultra processed that it's like the question is like, okay, you're vegan, but are you sure it's going to help your health? Yeah. So that's, I think, where a lot of people sometimes have that misconception where they think, okay, I'm now vegan, but they're still eating those burgers, they're still eating those fake chicken nuggets and all that kind of stuff. And then they wonder later, how come I'm not feeling better? And that's one of the things where I think it's just the downside of having so many vegan products today. Yeah, that you could really deviate to the wrong direction instead of really sticking to what Mother Nature is giving you. And so I usually tell my wife, we try to eat everything that doesn't come with a barcode. Yeah, so anything that has a barcode, it means it was produced somewhere in some company. And if it's produced somewhere, then there was probably some processing involved. Yeah, so why don't we just take what Mother Nature gives us? Yeah, and that's why we really try to stick to the plant-based, where we are just eating real stuff. Well, that's where we really saw the benefit of starting so many years back and not having that, I would say, influence of not being the clean type of vegan. Yeah.
Yeah, we've experienced it all. We've done the clean vegan. We've done the
Junk food vegan.
Yeah, we were junk food for a while, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
That was tough. We explored a
We
lot.
felt somehow personally responsible to keep vegan restaurants.
Yeah, I feel that too.
There's a lot of happening.
Yeah, like anytime a vegan restaurant looked like it wasn't doing very well, we're like, all right, we need to make an order.
Yeah.
Or if a new restaurant come about, let's make an order. So we really tried to do that. So we, being vegan doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be super healthy. And we found out that way as well. So I think that's why it's really important that we ask potential clients, why are you vegan? Because sometimes people have the wrong motivation. And for us, we believe it's a lifestyle. It's not a fad. It's not a way. Yeah, it's not a diet. It's not a way to get slim or to look good for a little while. It really embodies who you are as a person and what you want to achieve for this world that we all live in and for each other as well. And I think it was really important to understand as vegans, what is your why? Because without understanding your why, it's going to be very easy to fall off and be influenced and fall off that sidewalk. So it's really important to just know in your heart and in your mind, more so what you just put into your mouth of what veganism means to you.
Exactly. So true. Especially in your case and in my case, we entered that world through the health aspect, and other people enter to that world first because maybe they are compassionate towards the animals. Others say, I'm maybe for the environment. So they could come from different angles. But at the end, once you're in there, and then you're like, wow, that's having such an effect on other things. And then you just automatically embrace all of those three things. Yeah. And it's, for me, it's like that win-win situation, but it's a triple win. It's a win-win-win. Yeah. For your health, for the planet, for the animals, and you're not creating so much suffering out there. That's so amazing to hear your story. The other thing, what I liked what you said, Tara, was that today you just have so many more things, so many more flavors and so many options. And the same thing happened with other people who I spoke with and with myself as well. Because in the past, it was like, well, am I going to eat now the chicken with the potatoes or the chicken with the rice or maybe fish with rice? So it was always that combination, either rice, potatoes, maybe noodles, and it's either chicken, pork, or beef, or maybe turkey. Yes? And then you just combine them around a little bit and maybe throw in one little string of a bean or something, maybe a little salad in there. But then later, once you start discovering more about what can I eat as a vegan, and you start making some research, and it's like, wow, I've never tried all of that before. Yeah? I think today, when I look back from pre-vegan to today, I probably have much, much more tasty things today than what I used to eat before. And that's one thing that I think it blocks a lot of people because they think, I'm going to be so restricted with what I'm going to eat if I do the change. But actually, you're saying, well, you're actually opening a brand new door. You're going to be totally surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, there was a local farm in California when we became vegan. And it was pretty cool because it was like, I don't know, like $60 every 2 weeks, $60 a month, I guess. And they would just fill this box up and you would pick it up every other Sunday, I believe it was. And they would just fill it up with fruits and vegetables that's in season. And then we pick it up and then we try it. So I would eat, just ground beef and rice, just very simple, silly things, no nutrition, just a lot of calories, a lot of protein. And it was just a silly lifestyle. So when we did go vegan, we've had so many different foods in our body, so many different fruits, vegetables. Sometimes we'd have to Google, like, what is this?
What came in our boxes? What is this thing? It looks like halfway between a cauliflower and a broccoli.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
Or that, what was that one thing? It was like a little pumpkin, but it was like a texture, a persimmon.
Oh.
I had no idea what a persimmon was.
But it looked like a pumpkin.
Wow.
So we tried. It was delicious. It was like a new fruit that became one of our favorites so quickly. And it's pretty cool to experience different cultural foods and different types of foods. And if you're not enjoying your fruits and your vegetables, you're just doing it wrong.
So true. So true.
Just having different types of foods in general is already going to reduce that inflammation and really help your body kind of regulate on the hormonal scale, blood circulation, even mental thought. It was pretty immediate and noticeable right away when we started incorporating more foods. So we try to have, on the high end, 30 different types of fruits and vegetables on a weekly basis. So we actually just joined a new farm box here. It's a local farm out of Cancun, I believe it is, East La Mujeres area. And they deliver down every Wednesday. They give us a new fresh farm box of fruits, vegetables, some sourdough bread, which is delicious.
Organic.
Everything's organic, which is awesome. That's also a game changer as well, because a lot of people that are gluten intolerant, a lot of things are actually stemming from
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's really a big problem, because even when people think that they're eating healthy, but then you get all, as you mentioned, all the pesticides and chemicals in the food. As a consumer, it's really tough to find the road to health. And even though you think you're doing things that are healthy, but in reality, you're still not 100% in the healthy route. So it's really great that you all have now that opportunity to discover all of those different types of fruits and vegetables, being closer to the equator where you have all that possibility and all that diversity. And I think that's one of the things that once you become vegan, you learn that the more colorful your plate is, the better it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. And it changes on the physical aspect as well, because, with Tara's hip injury, with this constant inflammation, that was a big deal. I think getting rid of the dairy and a lot of meat products and then incorporate all of these fruits and vegetables, it dramatically helped your hip pain. And we're able to figure out the source of the problem and ultimately get it fixed.
Yeah, amazing. That is really, truly amazing, because just by changing what you put into your mouth is changing already so many different things that you could avoid, like future operations, illnesses that you will be getting and need to take medication for. That's something that I think not many people realize. And that's one of those aha moments, at least for me, when I did the change 10 years ago, and also for you as well. I'm going to go to the next question, which I'm sure it's going to be very interesting for the listeners. And it would be, what is the most common mistakes that people make when they transition to vegan?
Well, we're pretty open that we probably made all the mistakes that you can make. First, I think what a lot of people do is focus on the whole food, plant-based, and just, beans and rice, beans and quinoa, a lot of different fruits and vegetables. And that was great because we definitely felt so much better. But on the athlete side of things, that's where we kind of started to struggle. We started to struggle with strength, and our physique got really, really lean, really skinny. And that's when we were like, okay, let's try some of these junk food vegan stuff. And we went completely 180 in the other direction. And we were getting a ton of that artificial protein that we gained a little weight, and we didn't look so good, and we didn't feel so good either. So we definitely went up and down early on in our journey. And I think having gone through that experience on both ends, the biggest mistake that we see with others is that there's just no awareness of what nutrients they're eating, what they might be missing, how to balance their protein and things like that. Because you don't need as much protein as most people think you do. We're vegan bodybuilders, and we only consume 20 to 25% of our daily calories come from protein. But you'll be surprised if you're just focusing on whole grains and beans and vegetables, it's really, really hard to hit those numbers still. So just not having an awareness of what you're eating and what you might be lacking is a lot of the issues we see with a lot of people in their transition. And even a lot of people who've been vegan a long time and come into our program, they'll say, oh, I eat clean. And I'm like, well, that's great.
Yeah, what does eating mean to you?
Yeah.
Because eating clean means a lot of different things to a lot of people. It's very subjective.
Yeah.
And you could be under eating and only hitting 1,200 calories because plant foods aren't as calorically dense.
Yeah.
Or you could be on the other end of the spectrum and eating 3,600 calories because all of your calories are coming from nuts and avocados.
Yeah.
So it's really about that awareness and learning how to balance those macronutrients and the micronutrients as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why when people start off at the beginning, it's so hard to find that balance because it's like in an experimental mode. Yeah. Saying, okay, what is my body telling me? I think I had a lot of unwanted weight on me when I turned vegan. So I was about 95 kilos. I'm not sure how that is in pounds, but I definitely reduced. I think within 3 months, I went down from 95 kilos to about 70 kilos. And that's like, wow, that's amazing. I did not really focus on losing weight. All what I was just focusing on is just eating as much as I can, because I was in that transition phase. I was quite hungry because I was used to eating lots of meat and a lot of heavy food and a lot of, animal fats. Yeah, and I used to eat a lot of that before. So when I stopped eating animal fat, I became even more hungry. But the cool thing about being plant-based is that you can still eat a lot and your body will still be reducing weight. And that's why I was so happy with it, because I was still eating like 6 times a day and huge portions, and I would still be, looking better and better every day.
Yeah, we feel very strongly that it's important to eat the foods you like, because in the vegan world, especially right now, is a great time to be vegan, because there's so many restaurants, there's so many different types of food, there's so many different companies that are catering to this lifestyle. Because let's be honest, veganism is very trendy right now, so it's opening the door to a lot of people to understanding the concept and then figure out if it's right for them. And when they do figure out that it's right for them, you could make the adjustments as needed. So I think it's almost not silly, but I think it's important that we enjoy all these available foods that we have for us in this world. We should limit ourselves to just eating, everything completely raw if that's not what you need or that's what you're going for. Of course, we have clients that are planning to bodybuild. So there's different, nutritional needs for particular different people, especially as we work with the athletes. But we feel that flexible dieting is very important. We feel like if you like foods, you should figure out how, and we help you figure out how you can incorporate your favorite foods into your diet. If you love ice cream, if you don't let yourself ever eat ice cream, that's not sustainable. And why would you want to limit yourself to something that you like and something that you love?
Right.
If you want ice cream, I feel like there's ways to be able to have that in your diet and still hit your goals.
So true. You mentioned about that one does not need that much protein as one was meant to believe. Yeah, like I was also the typical person reading Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazine, and I'm like, oh, I need to get all that whey protein, and then at night before going to sleep, I need again another shake with casein protein. And so I was just like totally bought into this whole world of, if I don't eat protein for one day, I'll just dissolve the next day like sugar. So, and then that's where I also realized, like, wow, that's so amazing that you do not really need that much protein. And as we are eating less protein in a plant-based diet, but I feel that my body can absorb much, much better that little protein that I get than if I would be eating a lot of protein from, let's say, a steak. But then how much of that steak can your body really absorb? So again, that's something that a lot of people do not consider, I think.
In my opinion, too, with the steaks and things, those things cause so much inflammation anyway. When your body is inflamed, it doesn't really absorb many nutrients.
Yeah.
So even when I used to have a problem with anemia before going vegan, believe it or not, and that being vegan, I actually haven't had an issue with it at all. And I think it's largely because my body didn't react well to the red meat, so it didn't absorb the iron.
Yeah. Sometimes a limiting belief where people saying, oh, if you're not going to eat that, you're going to be iron deficient, you're going to have a B12 deficiency, and it's all things that people are believing at that moment because they just read it from somewhere and they do not really look at the source of the article, and one never knows from whom was the article funded, who gave the research. Yeah, so it could be, again, the meat and dairy industry who funds certain articles that come out in the news or on the magazines. So people really have to watch out and to find out, well, where's the trustful source? And that's why I think it's so important to have people like both of you who are really going through that journey and have done it yourself, yeah, and you have experimented. How does that actually influence my body? And is it making me gain weight? Is it making me lose weight? And then later, once you have found the golden middle point, then you can really guide your clients to be in the right path. What about supplements? Because that's another big thing. Yeah, when you read all those fitness magazines, you're like, oh, I will not be able to survive if I don't have creatine, if I don't have this and that. I mean, I know some of it is pretty good, and that probably depends what kind of sports you do. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think the truth is everyone with our Western diet, we're all going to have deficiencies. We're all going to have some issues with our diets. And it's scary because you could Google and find anything to support your side of things. So if you want to support the carnivore diet, you could Google things and find so many things that say the carnivore diet is the only way to live. On the other side, of course, you Google veganism, you can Google keto, you can Google anything you want. And the truth is you're going to be able to find any supporting data that sides with what you already believe in. So the trick here is you have to be open-minded, because you don't know what you don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And no one knows what they don't know until you learn. So understanding your whys and being intentional is important with your diets. Because the fact is we are all deficient in something. And we really strongly believe that you have to find these deficiencies yourself with the help of a doctor, with the help of coaches, with the help of people around you. Find these deficiencies and then make the right supplementations based on what you need for your body, for your goals, and for your health. So we all need B12. With animal agriculture, it's not a vegan problem. It's an everyone problem.
Unless you're eating large quantities of liver meat, you too are B12 deficient. So B12 is one of those essential vitamins that we all need. So I think anyone should really think about some sort of B12 supplementation at least once a week. With our clients, we have them track and log all of their intake. So we can see their vitamins they're eating. We can see their minerals and the nutrients, the fiber. And then we talk together on how to fill in those gaps, because supplements should do just that. They should supplement a nutrient-dense diet and not replace. We maybe have one protein shake a day, and that's all we really need to hit our goals. But we know we have clients that are like doctors, and they go into surgery, and sometimes they need to have a shake in the morning and a shake at night because they can't stop surgery to go eat some tofu and quinoa. So it really just depends on the individual and customizing that nutrition strategy based on what the individual needs.
Perfect. I'm also one of those. I take B12 maybe twice a week. There's something else that I ordered recently. I think it's the omega-3, which is made out of algae oil. So I was not sure if I'm deficient, but I said, well, maybe if I have it once every 3, 4, 6 months, maybe that would not harm. Have you had any experience with those vegan style omega-3s?
Yeah, we actually take a great multivitamin that's designed for vegans, which is super cool. So it has all the things that you might think a vegan might be deficient in. It has omega-3, B12, selenium, iron, zinc. It's a really, really cool product, and that's been pretty big, but that's pretty much all we take is the multivitamin, protein, and then, we have a B12 that we take once a week, I think.
Okay, perfect. I will put that into the show notes. Could you send me then later the link to that product, and I will then put it in? Yeah.
100%. We actually have a discount code too if anybody wanted to try it. Yeah.
Excellent. I've also read that you are an A-certified personal trainer. And what is actually the CNC Vegan Transformation Specialist? Because that's also part of your title. And I was very curious because I haven't seen that before.
So CNC means Certified Nutrition Coach. So I'm a certified sports nutrition coach, a certified fitness nutrition coach, and certified plant-based nutrition coach. I've really gone through all the different avenues with nutrition. I find it so incredibly fascinating how nutrition affects your body, your mind, your performance. So I'm always looking for more education on that. But that's what CNC means, a certified nutrition coach.
Yeah. So
I'm certified to be able to tell people how to eat, what to supplement, things like that they might need.
Yeah. Excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that they have such certifications to be already a plant-based or a vegan nutritionist. That is really, truly amazing.
Well, it's surprising to us how many people will pay trainers, coaches, they'll pay for help and coaching as a vegan, and they're paying non-vegans to coach them.
Yeah. So a non-vegan isn't going to understand your training barriers and challenges, your nutrition barriers and challenges. And to be perfectly honest, it's illegal for personal trainers to give nutrition advice because here in the U.S. anyways.
I guess they're in the U.S.
They're in the U.S. When I got my certifications, I found out that it was illegal for trainers to be like, you need 240 grams of protein and only eat chicken and rice. Like, that's actually illegal because you need special certifications. Doctors can't even give you nutrition advice because it's outside of their scope of practice.
Exactly.
I mean, you said with your high blood pressure and cholesterol, what the doctor tell you probably just said, oh, eat healthier and exercise more, right?
Yeah, true. Especially when one looks at what they learn in the university to become a doctor, they probably have just a couple of hours on nutrition and that's it. But then one also thinks, well, who's actually sponsoring these universities for the doctors to become doctors? And that's actually a lot of being money coming from the pharma industry. So of course, the pharma industry, for them, it's quite beneficial if they teach the doctors how to prescribe what type of medication for their clients and not to go into the root cause and try to find the reason why some people are coming with some chronic illnesses. Yeah, it's sad to see that sometimes if you follow the money, that you just see the broken process and one needs to then find other alternatives to be in charge of your own health.
I think that's exactly it too, because you can't keep looking for help in all the wrong places and then finally find out the truth. You have to be intentional. You have to kind of do your research yourself. And if you don't know it, hire someone that can't help you. We like to say to our clients, your ego is not your ego. And that's so true in so many different aspects. Even for me, like I was working out for 11 years before I started actually seeing results. I had a big belly, I had skinny arms. I was really just unfortunate, but I worked out hard. But once I killed off my ego, asked for help, tried to understand things is when things got better. So check your ego. That's a really big deal for us, for our clients, for anybody who wants to level up and improve their life. Check your ego, get the right help.
Very important. So you have coached over 100 people and athletes who are vegan. What are some of the surprising benefits you have seen?
As we discussed a little earlier, was that quicker recovery time. People would come to us and, be like, oh, I'm always really sore, really, really sore. And then we start getting their nutrition balanced and that soreness really dissipates. For me, I was a professional dancer for 13 years and very much like you, they were like, hey, you have high cholesterol. I'm like, what the hell do you mean? I dance like 16, I did 16 hours a week. I'm in 2 shows. I'm always at the gym. How can I have high cholesterol? And when I transitioned to a vegan diet, my cholesterol just completely plummeted. My blood pressure went from 139 over 90 to now I sit at 112 over 64.
Wow.
Massive. And a lot of people think that 120 over 80 is healthy. It's actually the highest your blood pressure can be and still be considered in the healthy range.
Yeah.
That's the ceiling of healthy blood pressure. My heart rate recovery, my resting heart rate is 52 beats per minute. That's the resting heart rate of a 26-year-old Olympic level athlete. And I'm in my mid-30s, So like, these are just like some of the things that come along with being a vegan athlete are like those quicker recoveries, more efficient heart rate, better endurance. Gosh, the list goes on and on. Really.
It's like being a sports car. Yeah. Like before we used to be like this big station wagon. Yeah. And now we're just like this lean machine. Yeah. Like just so efficient. For a lot of vegans who have asked the question, and myself included, if they would have asked me, what's your energy level throughout the day? And before becoming vegan, I would have said, oh, I'm probably more like an 8 and a 9, sometimes a 10. But now that I can see the other world, that I'm not anymore a meat eater and dairy consumer, I think, wow, that 8 to 9 that I used to categorize before, that's more now like a 5 or a 6 maybe, maximum. Compared to how I feel today, because today I'm just like so off the chart from the energy levels that I have, and I don't have like those tipping points throughout the day. I'm totally focused. Yeah, my mind is always like very sharp. So these are the things that I think only people will realize once they really experiment and to see like, hey, what I thought was an 8 is actually more like a 5. Yeah. and you start readjusting your perception of things and what is really having energy. And that's, I think, one of the things that I also realized myself when I did this vegan experiment, which was fantastic. There was a successful experiment that I completed, and I told my wife, okay, now the pilot phase is over. We're doing it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, 100%. We're completely with you there. Like, one of the weird things is like taking a simple anti-inflammatory. Like, gosh, I used to take like 8, 10,
so much.
12 ibuprofens a day. Everything just hurt all the time. And we just thought, this is life. This is how it is.
Yep.
It's so normal to be in that routine. And then when we went vegan and all of a sudden things stopped hurting, and I was like, wait, we've had this bottle of ibuprofen for here. Or like I will have a little bit of inflammation, for example, because he'll get a little tension in his traps, sort of like the precursor to a migraine, but the migraines don't happen anymore. And he could take an naproxen, a low dose, like 200 milligrams, and then we feel that swelling come down. Like we're able to actually feel that medicine working in our bodies, whereas before it'd just be like pop, 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 pop.
Wow.
And like be able to feel or notice anything.
Okay. Yeah, you only can find out when you try it out yourself. Yeah, no doctor, no person can actually tell you that that's what's going to happen with you. So glad that you have tried it out. And have you also heard about the topic of grounding and earthing? Because I think that's something that you could do probably quite well in Mexico, being in Tulum with that great weather. Because that's something that I also experimented, because when I was going down that rabbit hole of seeing about, well, what causes inflammation in the body, what are the things that you can do to reduce inflammation? So of course, going vegan is one of those major things you can do by reducing all the dairy. But then I came across that documentary, perhaps you've seen it, the Earthing movie. I'm not sure if you've seen that documentary. I'll put the link in the show notes as well. And so when I saw that one, I was like, well, that's pretty interesting. That's also something that could reduce inflammation in the body. So that's also another area that we experimented with my wife, and it was just amazing. We had then later no more pains in our feet that we had before from wearing like our usual office shoes that we used to wear before. And we took that experiment so far that we said, well, as all our pains in our body disappeared, I want to see how far can we go until we start feeling pain. So what we did is we took a tour in Europe. We started to go from city to city barefoot. And we said, let's see how far we just going to go. And we, at the end, completed 10,500 kilometers barefoot going across Europe. And that's equivalent to about 6,500 miles. And we did not have any kind of issues. We had no pains in our joints. It was just so amazing. We just said our bodies just got so adapted to being barefoot. And we got that positive energy also from the ground, from all that earthing that we were getting, that we had absolutely no inflammation in our joints or anything. So that was another big aha moment for us. And that's why now we're also living primarily barefoot here in Spain.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. Yeah, barefoot is grounding very big here in Tulum. You go into a restaurant, nobody's got shoes on. So if you're coming from like the Northeast, East Coast, or Midwest, where there's just not a lot of knowledge around these things, you come to a place like this and you're like, what are these hippies doing with their foods and all the vegan food?
Yeah.
But even like the science behind grounding for just 15 minutes a day, like at the end of your workday, or even while you're sending emails, if you can get your feet into the sand, into the ground, like you can really get like EMFs and all kinds of really cool things while you're working, which is also really cool.
Blood pressure, that just goes down so fast.
Exactly.
That's why I feel it's very important to surround yourself with people that are like-minded and people that you want to be like. Because like you said, when people from the States come to visit, or people from the East Coast or West Coast, whatever, they come down to Tulum, it's weird for them. Yeah. But the benefits are so there, and get rid of that ego and be open-minded and try to understand, be curious and be like, why is this happening? Why did they do that? Because I'll be honest, 7-8 years ago, I was very like judgmental with everything. And I found out later that it's just my own insecurities that led me to this judgment. And once I was able to kill off my ego, I was able to be a little more curious and find out why. So like crystals, grounding, vegan food, like all these things are real. And it's important to surround yourself with people that have some knowledge and are already the type of person that you want to become. Community is a huge part of our program, and we want to create an awesome community where people is like-minded and they all want to level up together without judgment, all encouragement, happiness. It's really, really important to find people in your life.
Yeah, so true. Like-minded people, I think, who are already going into that direction of health and happiness and being vegan and being, I would say, grounded and all that. It's like, I don't know, it feels like if it would be just like 1% of the population in this world. But it's a good thing that you are now in that beautiful location in Tulum where you can see, well, maybe that's more than 1%, hopefully.
It is. Oh my goodness. Like I call Tulum the vegan mothership. Like the density of vegan restaurants and self-growth, and every single weekend there's some sort of leadership retreat. Like there's just so much to do, see, participate, so much community. It's really a place like no other. It's really cool.
Yeah. We've been here for 4 months now, and we still have not been able to go to every vegan restaurant.
We're trying hard.
It's so wonderful. It's just so common here. It's amazing.
I think I know where I'm going to book my next vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this summer we already booked our vacation, but definitely for next summer, because Mexico was always on our list. But I think next year we're definitely going to see each other in Tulum. If you're still there, yeah, that would be fantastic to see you in life in 3D.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. We just had a client of ours visit us for almost a week, and we showed him all around. He's been working with us for about a year now, so it's awesome to work out together in person. Because he's from the States. So for him to experience this culture, it just really encouraged him to find more community locally for him as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think if I look at the studies, about like the blue zones, where people get very, very old, and that's also one of the major factors is that it's their community, the sense of community, and how they communicate with people, and how do you build up your relationships in your surroundings. And if I think about some countries in Europe, there is very, very little relationships with people, and they just try to live a very isolated, I would say, type of life. And then when you look at other countries, like if you go more towards the Latin countries or South America, Middle America, where people are very close to each other and everything is like family and community, then it also has a major effect on your psychological level and your happiness level overall. Yeah. So looking at my next question, what would you say is the hardest part for your clients, and how have you them overcome those challenges? Because I think maybe not everybody is already vegan when they come to you. Maybe they're just about to think about it. Maybe they're just in the transition. What have you experienced is the most frequent challenge that they are facing?
Yeah, I would probably say ego and awareness.
Mindset.
Yeah, to encompass it, I think mindset is really, if you boil it down to it, it's mindset. Because mindset is going to encompass all those aspects. We have 3 pillars in our program, and the first of the 3 is mindset. We teach mindset, strategy, and accountability. This is really the foundation of transformations in our programs. We really focus on developing habits and then turning those habits to a lifestyle, and that lifestyle into an identity. So we could basically get anyone to a physical goal and to get healthy in 3 to 4 months. Almost anybody, we could get that to achieve that body that they're looking for in 3 to 4 months. That's more of the easy part. It's easy for your body to physically kind of find the adaptations and changes and the results right away. But it's the mentality and the emotional level that takes the hardest. And it's very easy for your physical results to be way ahead and your emotional and mental health results to catch up. It takes a while to change what you believe about yourself. It takes a while to change who you think that you can be and what you want to become. A lot of these self-limiting beliefs, and that has a lot to do with ego and awareness, because the truth is we are exactly where we are in our lives, the good and the bad, because of the choices that we made. And it's really easy to be a victim and say, oh, I'm this way because of my parents. I have a belly because of my parents. It's hereditary. But the truth is the only thing that's hereditary is the habits that you've taken from your parents and your grandparents. So if you get rid of that victim mindset, and you change your mindset, change what you believe and what you could achieve, results are going to happen, not only on a physical level, but in all aspects of your life, where you're able to show up powerfully for yourself and show up powerfully for those around you.
Yeah, it's like those self-limiting beliefs that we all have. I love being vegan, but I can't be a bodybuilder and be vegan. I can't go vegan. I love cheese too much. Cheese is so big in my family, right? We're friends. We're Mexican, like the food is so ingrained into what we think we are. And, you just have to switch your mindset. Instead of finding all the reasons you can't, look for all the ways you can.
Correct. I really like the way how you have those 3 pillars, because that would have been my next question. Yeah, what are the services that you offer your clients? So those 3 main pillars totally make sense. Yeah, and I think you also even have an app, right?
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of ways to deliver to our clients. We do have an app where we deliver their nutrition, their habits, because we encourage our clients to develop habits slowly but surely. Whether it's meditation, whether it's daily walks, whether it's reading a book, we encourage habit building on a slow level to constantly increase over. So we deliver habits, their workouts. We do everything through the app, but really it's just one mode of delivery because we're actually very hands-on with our clients. We speak to them almost daily. I would probably say daily, if not multiple times per day, where we're chatting, we're texting, we're sending voice notes, videos, photos. We're very selective with the people that we bring into our program because we want to, it's a lifestyle transformation, but also we want to work with people that we want to work with. We want to work with people that we feel would be a good part to add to our community. We want to understand where people are at, and we want to understand what their whys are. So the app is fantastic. We have a lot of great ways to deliver to our clients. That's just one aspect because we're so hands-on and so personal with our clients because relationships build. And what starts off as a clientele relationship always transitions, becomes something more.
Yeah. It really all becomes like a family. Not every client has the exact same program either. Everything is 100% custom tailored. Because we have some clients who are doctors and they can't work out 6 days a week and do certain things. So it's really about finding a way to make fitness and health and building these habits, not just health habits, but also lifestyle habits that aid to your happiness, habits that improve your family life, your home life, things like that. We work on custom strategies with each individual and then implement them in a phased approach. So it's not like, like jumping off a cliff, like a whole 180, we really ease them into it. It takes steps to get them to where they want to be.
And the goals change, goals progress. As your body changes, as your health changes, your mindset changes, goals do change as well. So it's almost like we constantly keep leveling up and as goals change, as goals get broader and bigger and deeper and stronger, we push in that direction as well.
Yeah, we had a client who just wanted to lose 10 pounds and then that kind of snowballed into him winning gold at a national pickleball tournament,
Yeah. You like sports. And he goes, well, my company is playing some pickleball, maybe I'll try it. So he went from, I just want to lose belly fat. So now he's won multiple tournaments, national televised tournaments. At his early 40s, he just welcomed his first daughter. Yeah. So it's just so much more. It's just, your level, your relationship that you build, your spouse. There's just so much to it. What starts off as I want to look good for the summer turns into I want to be the best version of myself for everybody around me, including yourself.
Exactly. It's amazing how just changing a couple of habits has such ripple effects on so many other levels. And what is really good, what I liked about what you just mentioned is that you really do it very customized for each client. Yeah, because one has a full-time job, maybe as a doctor or as a surgeon. And as you mentioned, he cannot be doing workouts every single day. But for that, you will adapt a program that fits to his schedule. And same goes for other clients who might have other rhythms and other types of jobs. And they would want to know, well, how does that fit to my situation? And that's why I think that's so great that you have that flexibility to offer that to your clients, especially with the app, because the app is really something that's going to be able to track and to see also what's the before and after results, and also will enable you to be able to help them even further. Yeah, to say, okay, we can actually see here the progress with you.
Yeah, data is very powerful, and tracking data and performance and the way you look and your measurements, your weight, tracking all of that data really helps to dial in that strategy even more, because not every single person has the same deficiencies, has the same nutrient needs, has the same goals. So the plan really has to morph and change depending on that. And really it's just about analyzing the data and saying, okay, we're here. How do we get to here? And how do we get there in the fastest way possible, the safest way possible, the most enjoyable way possible?
So good. That sounds like a magnificent plan. And for that, we're almost to the end of our podcast. It's amazing how time flies so quickly. Therefore, one final question for both of you. Where can the listeners find you?
Yeah, find us right on Instagram at KT Fitness Co., all one word. And anyone listening to this podcast, we would like to offer anyone a free week of workouts. So if anyone listening to this podcast can just DM us the word workouts. We'll know where you came from and we'll get you those free workouts sent over as well.
Wow, that sounds really great. I'll be putting that also in the show notes. Thanks a lot for that. It was amazing speaking with both of you. And I'm so happy to see how you have developed yourselves, being together and going to different countries and experimenting new things. I think every time you change country, your horizon just like opens more and more when you get to learn new cultures and get to know new people. Of course, you're just trying out new things also, meeting new clients and learning also from them. So it's not only that they learn from you, but it's both ways. So I'm so happy for all of this. And thank you again for your time today in this podcast.
Thank you so much. It's awesome.
This was great.
What a lovely conversation. I hope this episode with Tara and Ken has made you curious about the ripple effects you can achieve by focusing on your health and fitness. Please let me know what you found interesting and what you would like to improve and tag me on Instagram. My account is called health_happiness_planet. In the show notes, you will find all the links on where to find Tara and Ken and how to contact them. Here you will also find the vegan company they work with and use their discount code when purchasing any vegan supplements. I value your feedback and I would love to hear from you. Please rate, subscribe, and share this episode with those whom you think will profit from this information. Your support means the world to me, and it motivates me to keep producing content that adds value to our life. This podcast was sponsored by Wave Business Excellence Footprint, a digital training company that cares about your career development, your personal development, and the well-being of this planet we call home. On the website www.wave-bef.com, you will find a total of 22 courses. 7 of those are designed for managers and 15 courses are designed for employees who strive to become the leaders of tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Big hugs, everyone.